This week on ATV News, the Oscars have gone from Adele Dazeem to the Moonlight Flub, Jeff Sessions is accused of contacting the Russian ambassador, and Snap, the parent company of Snapchat, becomes the biggest U.S. tech company to go public since Facebook. I'm Mariah Spada.
And I'm Katie Malone. ATV News starts now.
Last week, a London theater joined in on some post-Oscar fun by pranking their audience members. After buying tickets to see Moonlight, the audience members were beyond surprised when instead La La Land began to grace their screens. The theater decided to poke fun at the incident everyone has been talking about since the Oscars aired. The most shocking moment in Oscar history was this past Sunday, when Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway announced that La La Land had won Best Picture, only to realize they had the wrong envelope, and that in fact Moonlight was the actual winner. The duty manager from the Rio Cinema told Time Out magazine that the prank was all just a bit of fun.
Now we will go to Emily Lytle on the quad for a report on the Warren Ware tour.
Hi, this is Emily Lytle reporting for ATV News. We're here on the quad today on a beautiful Wednesday as students are coming out to check out the Warren Ware Tour. This tour is a partnership with Patagonia, Post Landfill Action Network, which is acronym is PLAN, as well as the Student Zero Waste Club, the Office of Sustainability, Nourish AU, as well as AU's Fashion Club.
The Office of Sustainability, here at AU, we have a goal to reduce our waste and to make sure that the waste we do have goes to the right places. So that's through composting and recycling and that sort of thing. So right now we're in the middle of an 8-week-long engagement effort called Recyclemania, where we are encouraging students and staff and faculty to get involved in recycling and waste management on campus. So part of that is through a partnership with Patagonia and also the Post Landfill Action Network. We want to encourage students to reduce their waste, especially when it comes to clothing. So Patagonia has a Warren Wear truck where they go all around the country. Right now they're on a college tour to teach students and people how to repair their own clothing and also to sell clothing that has been repaired. Again, to really drive home the idea that we don't need to buy more. So the ultimate goal of Recyclemania is to really engage not just students, but staff and faculty in the role that we each play for waste management on campus. You know, the decisions when you're standing in front of those 4 trash cans and you're wondering, where does my coffee cup go? Where does my can go? Those decisions really have an impact because that's how we're going to achieve the university goal of one day achieving zero waste, which means at least 90% of the waste is not going to a landfill.
This is Emily Lytle reporting for ATV News on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon.
Thanks, Emily.
I think it's really cool how they're doing that. People don't pay enough attention to selling their clothes to places that'll reuse them and things like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can't believe that we can merge fashion with the environment, and I think that AU, the fact that they're actually making that step to help us do that, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, even just shopping at Goodwills or Salvation Armies, really giving your clothes a second life is important.
I completely agree.
Following last year's referendum in favor of D.C. statehood, Eleanor Holmes Norton has introduced a bill in Congress to make D.C. the 51st state. Norton is the district's non-voting representative in Congress, and the bill gained 116 Democratic co-sponsors. This initiative is supported by Mayor Bowser and Council Chairman Phil Mendelson, but they are expecting obstacles from Republicans in both houses of Congress. D.C. statehood faces strict party lines with almost complete opposition from Republicans. Pro-statehood individuals plan to keep trying until progress is made. For the latest in entertainment news, let's go to Mawal Sidi.
Thanks, Katie. I'm Mawal Sidi. Talk about a surprise ending. This year's Oscars shocked everyone when the presenters mistakenly announced La La Land as the winner of the Best Picture award. Moonlight actually won the esteemed award. The wrong envelope was handed to the presenters. The mistake was not corrected until after the La La Land cast and crew began giving their acceptance speech. Unfortunately, the accountants responsible for the mistake will no longer work for the Academy. However, for those rooting for Moonlight, it was quite an exciting moment. Last week, Alec Baldwin went on Jimmy Kimmel to lobby to play President Donald Trump at this year's Correspondents' Dinner. Trump is the first president since Ronald Reagan to pass up the opportunity to attend the historic dinner. Many offered to portray him, but Baldwin has gained high praise for his spot-on impressions of Trump on Saturday Night Live. At this rate, who knows, Kate McKinnon might just show up as Kellyanne Conway. Let the rap battle begin. MC Remy Ma dropped a track about Nicki Minaj. The 7-minute track hurled insults and accusations about Minaj's looks and work ethic. 5 days after the track was released, Remy dropped another track, appropriately titled Another One. The new track focuses on Minaj's lack of response, which many in the industry have criticized her for. Rappers such as Jay-Z and Drake have previously responded by putting out their own tracks. So Nicki, we're all waiting. That's it for entertainment. I'm Moad Sidi. Back to Katie and Mariah in the studio.
Thanks, Mawal.
Katie, did you hear about this Nicki Minaj, Remy Ma situation that went on? I know I heard about it, and the rap industry is going insane right now.
What happened exactly?
So basically, Remy Ma, as she was saying, came out of prison and came out with a track, and the world is spin upside down. We're waiting for Nicki Minaj to come out with a diss track. Hopefully she does.
Oh gosh, all in suspense.
We'll wait and see. Bitcoins are officially worth more than gold. The price of one Bitcoin has now surpassed the value of an ounce of gold, a milestone that some investors say signifies that Bitcoin is the currency of digital gold. Now, many of you may be asking, what exactly is Bitcoin? Well, it's a type of digital currency created in 2009 by a software developer. It's used by many purchasing in the black market, as Bitcoin cannot be tracked. Unlike dollars or euros, Bitcoin does not require printing. Instead, computers mine them from a set number of Bitcoins. Around last year, the price of one Bitcoin was valued at $421.60, according to the CoinDesk Bitcoin Price Index, while the gold per ounce was priced $1,235. Now the value has more than tripled, while gold has been trading around the same price it was a year ago. By last Thursday evening, the price of one Bitcoin officially went up to $1,271. So if you ever question this digital age, remember that gold necklace your grandmother gave you may not be worth as much as this millennial gem. Now let's go into politics.
Thanks, Mariah. Welcome to ATV Politics. I'm Lise Metcalf. This week, President Donald Trump unveiled his budget proposal, which seeks to increase military spending by $54 billion. Where the money will come from is somewhat unclear, but is likely to come at the expense of other non-military programs, such as foreign aid, in order to make up these numbers. Tuesday night saw Trump deliver his first address to Congress. In an adaptation of style, he stuck to the script and delivered his message in a clear and composed manner. He called on lawmakers to overhaul healthcare, build up the military, and sort out the tax code, also making reference to immigration reform. He also announced his interest in reaching across party lines and putting aside trivial fights in order to help ordinary Americans. Attorney General Jeff Sessions came under fire this week after it came to light that he has spoken with the Russian ambassador twice in the past year, which contradicts what he said in his confirmation testimony. After intense pressure from the Democrats to recuse himself from the ongoing Russian investigation, he did so, saying, "In retrospect, I should have slowed down and said, but I did meet with one Russian official a couple of times, and that would be the Russian ambassador." That's it this week for politics. For ATV News, I'm Lise Metcalf. Back to Katie and Mariah.
Thanks, Elise.
Katie, the fact that Donald Trump wants to increase military spending is no surprise, but $54 billion, I mean, that's a lot.
It seems a little bit excessive, but I'm not quite the expert to judge that.
Neither am I, but we'll stay posted to see what happens.
Definitely. American University is among the top medium-sized colleges generating volunteers for the Peace Corps, according to a new study released earlier this week. Interest in the Peace Corps has grown, with 74 former AU students now a part of the organization. Other colleges in our area with high Peace Corps volunteer numbers include the University of Maryland, George Washington University, Howard University, among many others. The University of California at Berkeley holds the record with 3,640 alumni who have participated in the organization.
Now we go to sports with Corey Flax.
Thanks, Mariah. I'm Corey Flax with this week's sports report. Former New York Knicks standout Amari Stoudemire found himself in deep water this week after making homophobic comments regarding the possibility of having a gay teammate. Stoudemire, who currently plays professionally in Israel, responded to the question by stating, "I'm going to shower across the street, I'm going to make sure my change of clothes are around the corner, and I'm going to take a different route to the gym," end quote. Stoudemire publicly apologized on Wednesday for his comments. This is not Stoudemire's first incident regarding negativity towards the LGBTQ community. He tweeted a gay slur in 2012, which gained criticism. Golden State Warriors fans are in panic mode as their team's leading scorer, All-star Kevin Durant, has been ruled out indefinitely with a sprained MCL, which occurred in the first minute of the Warriors' 112-108 loss against the Washington Wizards Wednesday night. Doctors will reevaluate Durant in 4 weeks. Any interest in making $500,000? If so, I would recommend traveling to Houston and tracking down Tom Brady's missing Super Bowl jersey. After the greatest Super Bowl comeback in NFL history, Brady's jersey was stolen from his Super Bowl locker room at Houston's NRG Stadium. The Houston Police Department has offered $500,000 for returning the jersey. The post-game robbery has been labeled as a first-degree felony. Happy March, college basketball fans. It's almost time to fill out your brackets. Sadly, one team not on our brackets this year will be our American University men's team. Our disappointing season, which was plagued by poor play, has finally ended. The Eagles fell to Army in the first round of the Patriot League tournament 74-58. The Eagles, who finished 8-22, clearly have some rebuilding to do. Coach Brennan, who won the Patriot League title in his first year as the Eagles head coach in 2014, but has seen his team's record decline each year since then. Many are questioning the Coach Brennan's unorthodox Princeton offense, which has seemed to be the right system when star Pee Wee Garner was running the offense, but now just seems to limit the team. That's it for sports. I'm Corey Flax. Back to Katie and Mariah at the desk.
Thanks, Corey.
It's such a shame to see in the 21st century people are still anti-gay and things like that.
It's super disappointing, Katie, but we can't remember the good parts of sports. And Corey mentioned March Madness is coming up, and hopefully the AU Eagle basketball team can hopefully maybe improve next year and make it to that point. We'll see.
We'll have to see.
Yelp isn't afraid to support gender inclusivity despite living under Trump's administration. The acclaimed site Yelp has decided to coin in on the national debate over transgender people's bathrooms, accessed with a new feature that will enable their consumers to search for businesses offering gender-neutral restrooms. In a blog post on Friday, Yelp said it would collect information from business owners and customers in order to offer a gender-neutral restroom category in the listings. Yelp wants companies to think about how their business companies are presenting themselves. The company has stated they are thrilled to thrive on inclusion and acceptance.
According to the U.S. Drought Monitor report, D.C. is in a severe drought. This could entail water restrictions and crop loss as we go without significant precipitation. The severity of this drought is being compared to similar issues in California, as the district's rainfall total this year is among the driest on record. Concern for farms around the district grows as it becomes more likely that the soil quality will hinder productivity. In the meantime, it won't hurt to shorten your showers.
For this week's report, we turn to Riti Sarkar.
Thanks, Mariah. I'm Riti Sarkar with this week's finance report. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed over 21,000 for the first time on Wednesday. This was the best day of the year so far for the stock market, as all major market averages soared following President Donald Trump's first address to Congress on Tuesday night. The Dow advanced about 300 points, with Goldman Sachs contributing the most gains. The S&P 500 climbed 1.4% and the Nasdaq jumped 1.4%. On Thursday, Snap, the parent company of Snapchat, became the biggest U.S. tech company to go public since Facebook in 2012. It priced its initial public offering at $17 a share on Wednesday. The company began trading at $24 a share on the New York Stock Exchange Thursday, a 40% increase over its IPO price, and ended the day with a gain of 44% over the IPO price. Then on Friday, the company jumped 20% in early trading, rising above $29 a share after Comcast-owned NBC Universal announced it had taken a stake in the social media company, and ended the day with a gain of 11%. At its high on Friday, Snap's market value was around $40 billion. Snap is currently worth almost 3 times as much as Twitter and has a greater market value than that of 378 of the companies in the S&P 500. Now, to put this all in perspective, in 2012, Facebook fell below its IPO price on the second day of trading and did not top the price again for more than a year. And Twitter's stock price soared for much of its first 2 months as a public company, but began declining after its first earnings report. Today, Twitter is trading 40% below its IPO price, while Facebook stock has more than tripled from its IPO price. That is it for This Week in Finance. For ATV News, I'm Rudy Sarkar. Now back to Mariah and Katie in the studio.
Thanks, Reedy.
Katie, can you believe Snapchat, how much it's worth now? I know before it was just like a silly filter app, and now we get our news from it. It's worth so much money. I mean, what happened?
I think it's just a convenient, easy way for people to talk to each other. It's fun, it's interesting. I love Snapchat personally.
Absolutely, I love it as well.
Now we'll go to Alexis Arnold for a special report on SOC Week.
Hi, I'm Alexis Arnold. I'm here on the 3rd floor of McKinley for Pizza with the Professor. It's one of the many events that are going on in the School of Communication to celebrate SOC Week. Every day this week, there are events to help current SOC students plan their major, ask for advice, and celebrate the best that the School of Communication has to offer.
SOC Week is a kind of chance for people to informally get together, eat pizza, and for students who haven't really figured out which divisions in the school they want to be in to meet with professors from different divisions. I think a lot of undergrads don't really know what communication is about as a field, and they need to kind of find out, well, I could be a journalist, I could be a filmmaker, I could be a scholar studying how people communicate, and getting a sense of like who these human beings are that are going to be teaching them classes is I think a really important thing.
American University's SOC Week also featured a screening of the documentary Tickling Giants.
You know, I've been talking with some people affiliated with SOC, and they're, protecting the right of media and journalists to speak out and be able to report accurately about the news and about, our current administration is so important. So I think the film is especially, I think it's really important for us to talk about, why is it so important for us to exercise this right to free speech and to protect it here in America.
SOC Week concluded this Thursday with 2 events, one about communications majors and one about podcasts.
Thanks, Alexis.
I think it's really cool how each school holds events for students to really get to know their professors and get to know more about what they're going to do with the rest of their life.
Same, Katie. I loved SOC Week. I went to almost all of the events, and I think it's super awesome that AU believes in their students and their fellow journalists to get us started early. So if you missed out SOC Week, be sure to be there next year.
You heard it here first from Mariah endorsing it.
Now let's see what's happening around the world with Tristan Brown.
Thanks, Mariah. I'm Tristan Brown, and this week in world news, we turn to Donald Trump and his recent ties to Russia that have Democrats demanding answers. Congressional Republicans are silencing their criticisms of Attorney General Jeff Sessions after a group of key GOP officials broke ranks with him and President over Sessions' contacts with Russian officials. Critical Republicans have chosen to either support his decision or refrain from commenting. As more became skeptic, on Thursday morning, Sessions released a statement saying, "I don't want to prejudge, but I just think for any investigation going forward, you want to make sure everyone trusts the investigation." Democrats continue to demand actions from resignation to special counsel investigating the matter. Adam Skeech, the top Democrat on the House of Intelligence Committee, is among some who say Sessions should step down. In other news, Malaysia is greatly concerned by the recent use of a prohibited chemical weapon in the murder of Kim Jong-un's half-brother at a busy international airport. Kim Jong-nam, the sibling of North Korea's dictator, was killed with VX nerve agent in Kuala Lumpur on February 13th. VX is banned under the Chemical Weapon Convention, a treaty in which North Korea is not obliged under. The ministry released a statement on Friday expressing their condemnation of the use of the chemical weapon by anyone, anywhere, under any circumstance, further saying its use at a public place could have endangered the general public. On the topic of violence, Iran's Shaneen Najafi and Israel's Aviv Geffen came together in song about world peace. The two rock stars were able to put their country's differences aside as they sang for a crowd of 6,000 packed in the Tel Aviv fairground on Thursday night. Najafi shared a message to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Donald Trump, who have been a part of the anti-Iran rhetoric. Najafi states, "Stop the violence between people before it's too late." This was seen as a great opportunity for Iran and Israel to show the world that they can stand together and respect one another. We'll see what happens next week in world news. I'm Tristan Brown, back to Katie and Mariah in the studio.
Katie, I feel like nowadays when I grab a newspaper, it's not possible to see the word Trump and Russia not next to each other, and honestly, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
I think it's just everywhere. I think it's a shock value almost. People want to hear about Trump and Russia and what's really going on, but the truth is no one knows yet.
It's still a mystery.
A report released by the Civil Rights Project at UCLA found that DC public schools are still highly segregated. The study found that many schools consist almost entirely of students of color, with 71% of black students reporting that they had almost no white peers, down from 90% in 1992. This is especially surprising considering the rise of white families in the district, as the report claims that city officials are not doing enough to push white families towards public schools. This segregation is known to hurt minority students in the long run, as their schools are granted fewer resources. Now for our weather report, we go to Nadia Silcombe.
Hey guys, I'm Nadia Slocum with this week's weather forecast. February has given us a taste of the spring weather ahead, but don't get ahead of yourselves quite yet. Keep your hats and coats out for now. We may still experience some cold chills in the following weeks. So, as for this upcoming week, expect some more inconsistent temperatures. Today will be a sunny with a high of 41 degrees, and if you're planning on heading out tonight, you might want to bundle up. Tonight's temperature will be a frigid 27 degrees. Don't forget to brace yourselves when walking throughout campus this week. Expect some wind gusts of 15 miles per hour. Monday will be mostly sunny with a high of 58 degrees and a mid-low of 48 degrees. Tuesday will be partly sunny with a high of 63 degrees and a low of 45. Bring an umbrella to your afternoon classes because we are expecting to see some afternoon showers. If you don't have class on Wednesday, you should hang out on the quad. Wednesday will be sunny with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 30. Thursday and Friday will be in the mid-50s with a low of 35 degrees on Thursday and 48 degrees on Friday. This is your weather forecast this week, and I'm Nadia Slocum. Back to Katie and Mariah in the studio.
Thanks, Nadia. This weather has been so moody lately. I'm wondering what it's going to be like for spring break.
I know, I'm worried that it might affect your plans. Like, what do you have going on?
I'm actually heading out to Louisiana and New Orleans, so hopefully the weather's nice there. What about you?
You're fine. I'm staying here, so I'm definitely going to bear the storm and see what DC has it ready for me.
I hope the weather's well for both of us.
Thanks.
An inspiring story of how 3 homeless girls from Brooklyn gained a gold from their track club. The Shepherd sisters are known for their running sensations. The girls are Ty 12, Rain 11, and Brooke 9, who run in events hurdles, distance, and high jump. After the sisters' half-brother was fatally shot, their family fell on hard times and were eventually evicted from their New York City home. They've since then lived in a homeless shelter in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood. In spite of their situation, the girls put their efforts towards their beloved sport, track and field. They have now reached the ultimate dream of being junior Olympians, an accomplishment that sets them on track to a potential Olympic gold. For the latest in campus news, we turn to Penny Kimmett.
Thanks, Mariah. I'm Penny Kimmett, and this is What's Up AU. AU student government just announced changes in the conduct code effective immediately. Now, the code includes specific language on handling identity-motivated attacks. This means that the Conduct Office must consider bias motivation as a main factor when reviewing cases and deciding sanctions. The change comes after last year's identity-motivated attacks, including a swastika drawn on a whiteboard. On a lighter note, AU is celebrating the School of Communication by hosting AU's annual SOC Week. The festivities began on Monday with a breakfast with the dean, followed by a panel analyzing fake news. Students also had the opportunity to meet SOC professors, attend a Q&A with recent graduates, and much more. The celebration concluded on Thursday with an event exploring the history and future of podcasts. Students also enjoyed a concert at Catton Arts Center. AU's Symphony Orchestra presented March Medley on Saturday and Sunday, which featured performances of Mozart, an original piece by an AU faculty composer, and more. And that's it for What's Up at AU. I'm Penny Kimmett. Now back to Mariah and Katie in the studio.
Thanks, Penny.
It's super exciting, Katie, that student government was willing to do that code of conduct situation, and I think that it's really important to make everyone feel comfortable in this environment, especially everyone's identities.
Yeah, hopefully this is the start of some big steps forward.
Yeah, this is our second home, so hopefully everyone feels at home here.
Definitely. Well, that's it for ATV News this week. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Katie Malone.
And I'm Mariah Spada. Thanks for watching.